Good evening, everyone. I am neerubali. I'm a career and a university counselor. Today, we have York University with us in the Speaker Series event 2021. York University encourages innovation and leading your own path to reach goals. Their motto, "The way must be tried," perfectly encapsulates this philosophy. We have Megha Srivastav, Senior Recruitment Advisor, with us, who will discuss ins and outs of the university, be it admission requirements, campus, scholarships, or the programs. Welcome, Megha.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I hope you and your family, they're keeping safe in these challenging times. Would also like to take this opportunity, for including York in this particular initiative, and would like to also thank your amazing team, especially Urvashi and Jashan, who've been coordinating to ensure that everything goes in place. So thank you so much for this opportunity, ma'am.
Megha, our young prospective York students are waiting to listen from you.
Absolutely, ma'am. So I'm just gonna take a second here to share my screen because as we speak, there would be information available even on, the screen as well. Ma'am, can you confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes, yes.
Perfect, perfect. So do you want me to start with an introduction about York and
Yes,
then we can take the discussion forward?
absolutely. They would want to know more about the campus. Yes, here we are.
Absolutely. So, hello everyone. Warm greetings and thank you so much for taking time out on a Saturday, to be here with us to know more about York and our offerings. My name is Megha Srivastav and I'm the Senior Recruitment Advisor for India for York University. York is one of the leading public research universities of Canada. We have close to about 55,000 students across our two campuses in Toronto, which makes us the third largest university in the entire Canada. With more than 10,000 international students from 174 countries, we are also one of the most diverse and multicultural universities in the entire region. We offer 200 plus academic programs through various faculties in a range of subject areas. Now, talking about our campuses, like I mentioned earlier, we have two campuses in Toronto. One is our Kiel campus, the other one is our Glendon campus. Both these campuses, have all the state of art facilities. They are easily accessible by car and public transport. And the best thing is that both these campuses are also interconnected with each other through a free bus shuttle service. Now, on your screen right now, you can have a glimpse of our Kiel campus. Trust me, the pictures don't do justice to the way it actually looks. This is our beautiful, modern, big campus, which is like a mini city in itself. It has close to about 50,000 students who are currently enrolled in their undergrad and postgrad programs. It has 90 plus academic buildings, close to about 8 residence buildings, 50 restaurants, its own shopping mall, and all the other facilities that are needed by the students. So, your sports facilities, your health facilities, all is there on this one campus. So, like when I said that it's like a mini city in itself. The best thing about this particular campus, which I really like, is the accessibility. The campus is just 30 minutes from downtown Toronto, but at the same time, the campus also has two metro stations right on the campus, which makes the movement of the students super easy and convenient. I'm going to now move on and talk about our other campus, which is the Glendon campus. This is the smaller campus. It is at a distance of 25 minutes from the Kiel campus. It has close to about 3,000 students And it is also called our bilingual campus because students on this campus not only take courses related in English but also take up courses in French. At times you might also see them taking courses in a third language. So what is it that makes Glendon so unique when we have such a big campus like Kiel? I feel Glendon has its own set of unique points. Number one, the bilingual advantage, which definitely comes into place when you're looking out for jobs in Canada. Secondly, the average class sizes when it comes to this particular campus, for students, it's at an average of 25 students. And this is right from the first year. So not only are you getting a very rich student experience, but then you're also getting a very personalized student experience. There are more experiential learning opportunities available for the students on this campus. And also the fact that this particular campus is extremely multicultural. It has students from across 100 countries studying on this campus. So we call Glendon campus our small campus, but with a very big heart. So Neeru ma'am, that's about our a bit about York and our campuses.
And what is the advantage of these campuses like to international student?
Ma'am, I feel that the best thing about these campuses is the kind of facilities that are there, in both these campuses. Also, it way like you can choose a campus according to your requirement. Like if you're looking in terms of studying at a bigger campus, then you have the option of Kiel. But then if you're looking for a more personalized classroom experience, you can definitely pick up Glendon. The main advantages of these particular campuses are the fact that they're located in the beautiful multicultural city of Toronto. So I feel that's going to be one of the major things that students look into. In fact, one of the reasons why York is so popular with international students is the fact that both our campuses are located in Toronto. And I'm going to take the liberty here to actually talk a little bit about the location advantage here. So, we are located in Toronto. Toronto, as most of you already know, is Canada's largest city. It is also one of the most cosmopolitan and multicultural cities in the whole world. You would be surprised to know that more than 50% of the people who stay in Toronto are people who are born outside Canada. Now, international students love Toronto, and there are various reasons to to that. I feel the number one reason is there is so much to do. So if you're a foodie, there are so many restaurants, there are so many cafes, so many coffee shops that are serving cuisines from all across the globe. If you're someone who's into arts, there are so many performing art events. There are so many, cultural festivals that happen all across the year in Toronto. Or if you're a nature lover like me, there are numerous walking trails, there are numerous treks that can be explored. Toronto also is the business and financial center of Canada, and every major corporate has its headquarters in Toronto, thereby creating a lot of employment opportunities for international students. As I had mentioned earlier, Toronto is known to be one of the most multicultural cities in the whole world. But at the same time, it's a very warm and a friendly city which international students really like. Last but not the least, especially for Indian students, there's a strong Indian community in Toronto. So whenever you're walking on the streets in Toronto, you never feel that you're away from home. So that is what I would say about the location advantage.
Megha, when do the student decide about the campus while applying? Like when is the choice given to the students?
Ma'am, the choice is there with the students from the very beginning, because of course, if you're taking up some courses, wherein you want to take up courses related to both, in English and French, then you're looking at Glendon. When you're taking courses only in English, when that at that time you're looking at the Kiel campus, and there's a lot of flexibility. So, for example, you've applied for Kiel campus, but then you've interacted with the officials and you feel that, oh, I think it would be really good for me if I have an additional language added. There's a lot of flexibility for students to even change the campuses,
Okay.
even after
Okay.
they've applied. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice to know. Well, I believe York has, I believe there are 11 faculties at the university. So, a little bit more about the programs.
Absolutely, ma'am. So, one of the biggest strengths of York is that we offer more than 200 programs through our different 11 faculties that are there on your screen right now. What we always try to tell students is that, possibly whichever course that you're looking at, you're going to find it at York. So, whether they are courses related to liberal arts, whether you're looking for courses related to business, whether it's anything related to health, sciences, engineering, computer science, you name a course and we have it. And since there are 200 courses and we have limited time in our hands today, what I would really encourage all the students to do is to go on the website and go through the exhaustive list of courses that are there. And I'm sure once you go through it, you'll come back with us with specific questions and we would be more than happy to answer those for you.
And what are the unique advantages of all these academic programs? Yeah. So, something more.
Yes, absolutely, ma'am. So I think, ma'am, that's a very good question. And, this is one question that we get asked often, because that Canada as a destination is known for its quality of education. At the same time, what is something which is very unique about Canada is that the standard of education is uniform across universities. So wherever you're going, you would be getting the same standard of education. But then I also firmly believe that every institution has its own USP. And one of the main USPs of York is the fact that we offer a lot of advantages along with our academic program. So, number one, we've already discussed the wide range of program offerings that are there for the students. The other thing which I feel is very important to highlight is the flexibility. So for most of our programs, students have the option to either take up a double major or combine a major and a minor, or even combine like two different areas of interest. So there's a lot of freedom and flexibility there to kind of like design your own degree in a way. And this is something that we really really highlight in our conversations with the students. And even if you're combining two areas of interest together, you can still complete it in the 4 years of your study. The other advantage is the experiential learning opportunities that we provide with all our programs. So, whether it's about co-op, whether those opportunities come to you in form of placements, internships, field trips, there's a lot, to, explore. And I think the biggest advantage of experiential learning opportunities, that come with our courses is that they take the learning outside the classroom, which is very much needed. So I would definitely say, number one, the wide range of program offerings. Second, the flexibility. And third, the practical hands-on learning opportunities that come with, almost all programs at York.
Okay, one, Megha, when do the student declare their major? Like, is
So,
it
ma'am, usually yeah, so I get that question. So, what happens is that, sometimes you're very clear in terms of what you want to do. So, even while you're applying after that, you can declare it. But then, as per my knowledge, at times, students are given the flexibility that if you right now are not sure as to what you would want to do, they are definitely given some time. Now, I have to really check how much duration is there, but then they have like a very flexible period that up to so many credits that you do, you have the flexibility to do an undecided. So it's called an undecided major and they can start with the program. But I would definitely say that after 7 to 8 months into the program, we expect students to kind of like, start indicating as to where the interest would lie. But I can always find, the exact information about that, and I can always send that across to you and you can circulate it,
okay? One,
across to the student base.
a very nice thing I can see on your slide is co-op opportunities
Yeah.
and co-op programs. I would want you to explain to our viewers the difference between the two. I believe co-op programs are the programs already decided by the university, and they
Ma'am,
kind of
yeah,
select.
Yeah, ma'am, co-op is basically, if I put it in simple language, it's like a paid internship that's integrated in your program. So specifically with computer science and engineering programs at York, they come with a co-op option. So, in the third and the fourth year, students would be doing co-op, and they're going to be doing co-op with major companies like IBM, Tesla, Uber. There are a lot of opportunities available for the students there. Then you also have programs that provide internships. So sometimes the students do ask us, what's the difference? Now, internships again are a part of your program. It's just that co-op, carry a credit along with that. With
Okay.
internships, there's flexibility. So, for
Okay.
example, when it comes to our Faculty of Liberal Arts and Professional Studies, our programs related to finance, marketing, accounting, they all have internship opportunities. And, they range from 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 12 months. Now, it's up to the students as to how they kind of like fit that in to their curriculum, and most of the students find time during the summer term to do these internships. So I would say the only difference is the fact that co-op has a credit attached to it. Internships at York don't have a credit attached to it. But by the end of the day, ma'am, what needs to be looked into is that both opportunities are giving students practical exposure. Because a lot many times a student comes back and tells us that, oh, this particular program doesn't have co-op. And our conversation with the student is that it doesn't stop there, because your degree in a way gives you a lot of opportunities to explore. So if there is no co-op, you're still, as an international student, can work up to 20 hours a week when the classes are in session. So if you want to pick up an internship by yourself, you're more than free to do that. You can also work with a professor, on his research project. So, the idea is to stay engaged and find opportunities by your own self. By the end of the day, everything melts down to practical exposure, which you're going to get anyway, whether you're doing
I,
a research project or you're doing an internship or a co-op.
I'm sure York, being in Toronto, students would be having great internship opportunities. And how does York prepare students for their career success?
Ma'am, that's actually one of the most important. I think in whenever I interact with students, this is one of the points that I really focus on. And, again, one of the things that York is really known for is the way it would, it assists these students not only in terms of career preparation, but career support and also career success. We have a dedicated career center that supports students all throughout the 4 years and also up to 2 years after they graduate. So, whether that's help in terms of building up your resume in the Canadian style, or whether that's delivering career, related workshops like how do you create a professional LinkedIn account, from giving them access to, job postings and listings that are there, to organizing career fairs. The career center does it all. In fact, one of the most interesting feature of the career center is that it has these very interesting connect programs with our alumni. One of those programs is called the taste program, wherein the alumni takes the incoming undergrad students, or the students who are there in the undergrad programs, out for lunch to discuss professional opportunities. So, all these things are very unique, to York, and kind of like speaks volume about the way we try to prepare students, for their career path and the way we contribute towards their career success.
This is awesome. This is actually, I love that alumni taking students for lunch.
Me too, ma'am.
It
Me
actually
too.
builds a lot of a bond, a relationship with the freshmen.
Absolutely.
Well, and when a student has to go abroad to study, parents and the students, they're really, really apprehensive. Where are we going to stay? What is the
Yeah.
food going to be like? So, tell us more about York's housing facility. Is it in campus? How far is it? All kind of
Yeah.
things, a parent would want to know before going to York.
Absolutely, ma'am. And like you rightly said, that that's usually the number one concern of a parent.
Yes.
I'm also a parent. I have a 8-year-old daughter. I know
Okay.
after 10 years I would be stepping into the same shoes and
Yes.
finding more about the universities. And I think my two areas that I'm going to really concentrate on, number one would be the safety and the other one would be residence, because by
Yes.
the end of the day, I think when we are sending them to a destination like Canada, we are sure about the quality of education. So ma'am, Canada being the third largest university, we definitely cater to the accommodation needs of our students as well. We do have on campus residence opportunities that are available for both our undergrad and postgrad students. In fact, every year close to about 4,000 students stay on the campus, and we have close to about 13 residence buildings across the two campuses, that is Kiel and Glendon. Now, most of our residence buildings are in the traditional style. So they have single and double sharing rooms, which have common washrooms and common lounge area. And also for our upper year students, there are certain units which we called as self-contained units, which are definitely there. Residence definitely is one thing, when the students are coming in, especially the undergrad students, we definitely encourage them to stay on the campus at least for the first year, because you would agree that it's convenient. They get more chances to get involved on the campus. They can participate actively in the student clubs. And also, the way we are all at that particular stage, if we get up late, we can always get ready in 5 minutes and rush to the classroom. So and then again, one very important thing about our residence facilities, especially for the fresh incoming undergrad students, is that it's guaranteed till the time you're doing your residence application before the set deadline. So this year, for example, the deadline is 1st of May. So if you filled up the residence application before the 1st of May and you've done all the formalities, the residence is guaranteed to you.
And what if they fill it late? Like,
Ma'am, so we still accept it. It's just that, it won't be guaranteed, but then it would depend on availability. So if you're doing it before the 1st of May, and it's kind of like a short thing, that yes, it's guaranteed in a way. And of course, all these things, as you would know, these are logistics that are supervised by the residents as well. So they can kind of like monitor how many applications are coming in, and whenever they'll feel that okay, we've filled up the slot, that is when we start sending notifications. So for example, this year, if you completed all your formalities till the 1st of May, if you filled up the application, residence is definitely guaranteed. If you haven't done that, don't worry. If there's going to be opportunity available, if there's space available, we'll definitely accommodate.
and are there food outlets and dining halls uh, inside the dorms or nearby? What is the system like?
Ma'am, so when we talk about, the dining facilities for the students, so first of all, there are a lot of eating options available for the students, within the campus. Like I told you, if you pick up Kiel for that matter, there are 50 restaurants. And then, when students are staying inside these, residences, they definitely have a meal plan in place. Now, in certain residence buildings, of course, they would have their own mess, but then there could be definitely a common area wherein they would be going out for their meals. So that is again a point wherein I can kind of like really find out and let you know. But then just to kind of like assure you that the usually with the traditional style residence options, which is usually for our incoming undergrad students, there are meal plans available. Now where exactly are they eating the meals or some is something that we can always find that about, but I'm sure there are proper facilities available at
Oh,
York.
I'm
It's
sure.
just that I have joined York just 3 months back. So there would be certain areas wherein and these are good questions for me also to go back and check with the university. I
I'm
can
sure.
always come back here with that.
I'm
Yeah.
sure. So, how can students apply to York undergrad program? Yeah, we want to know.
Yeah, ma'am, very simplified. So if you're looking at applying only at York, we have our own internal application. And then if you are looking at applying at multiple universities in Ontario, then you know that you can apply through the OUAC, which is the Ontario University Application Center. It's the common app for universities in Ontario. So both ways are absolutely okay, and it completely depends on the student which route to take. Like I said, that if you're really really focused that okay, York is the only university, which is of course quite rare, because when a student is applying to Canada, most of the students also have certain options in their mind, and they're absolutely justified to do that. So most of the times we do get applications through the OUAC, but then at times we also encounter students who are very clear that York is where I want to go, and for them, we have our internal York application available,
I
which is,
I
yeah.
we at Cosmo we have so many students who are interested in Canada, and York is their favorite destination. This is one thing I know. So
Yeah.
good that you've told us that a separate York application is also available.
Yeah.
So for Indian students, what are the any specific requirement that you would suggest?
Absolutely, ma'am. So when we talk about, and you can then, see some of the requirements on the screen also right now. So when we talk about India, there are majorly three types of curriculums that we come across. One is definitely our national curriculum. So we're talking about CBSE, we're talking about ICSE, we're talking about the state boards. So usually, if you have an academic average anywhere between 60 to 85%, that's usually the range that we are looking at. Of course, for most of our programs, if you have an academic average of 60% and above, we definitely encourage you to apply. There are, however, some courses which require a higher percentage. So when it comes to programs like BBA, BCom, engineering, computer science, these are programs that definitely require a higher score. One thing that I really want to point out also here, because there are students who are present in the session, uh, it doesn't mean that if you have like a 60% or a 70% and you've applied that, that you're going to get admission. When we say that we are looking at this particular academic average, what we mean by saying is that we consider and we encourage you to apply. The ultimate decision, of course, rests with the admissions office. Now, when we talk about the other curriculum, like IB, if we're talking about IB, then again, we are looking at a grade score of anywhere between 28 to 30. For most of our programs, again, for courses like BBA, engineering, computer science, then we are looking at a higher grade again. For British curriculum, which is, your GCE, we look at minimum 2A levels at grade C or better. Again, for those particular programs, we would be requiring a higher grade. Apart from academic averages, most of the programs also have their own prerequisite subject requirements. So, for example, if you're looking at a program like engineering, so apart from having a good academic average, the program would also require you to have, a maths, physics, chemistry course in your grade 12. Similarly, for BBA, mathematics is the main program, the main course that they're looking at, that you need to have in your grade 12. So it's very important that apart from the academic average, you also check the prerequisite course requirements that are there, which actually vary from course to course. And in order to simplify things, if you go on our website, it is very crystal clear. You just have to select your curriculum, you just have to select your course, and you're going to see the requirements very clearly outlined. Also note that there would be certain courses like BBA, a bachelor's program in fine arts, also a program in design and social work. These are programs that also require a supplementary application. So there would be, apart from the normal application that you file, there would be an additional supplementary application that you would have to fill up. These courses also require a video interview and a timed written exercise. So those are the courses, which we wanted to kind of like outline, that there would be certain exceptions there while you're applying for these courses. We highly encourage students to have, English proficiency test scores in place while they're applying for York. However, if you've studied from a CBSE school or from an ICSE school, or you are from IB or British curriculum and you want an IELTS waiver, you can definitely request for one. It depends on the discretion of the admissions office. So that's a little bit about our admission requirements. But like I said, that there are 200 programs, and the easiest way is that you can see the link here. If you go on your respective program and you select your curriculum, you're going to see the detailed requirement as per your program, which are very, very clear.
Okay, great. We would also want to know more about scholarships which York University is dispersing. Yeah.
Absolutely, ma'am. I think that's one of the favorite questions, and I think the most prominent questions that students have. So, the good thing is that York definitely offers scholarships to international students, and I would like to categorize them into two. So one are definitely our entrance scholarships, which range anywhere between 1,000 to 3,000 Canadian dollars, and they are purely based on your academic score. So till the time you have a good, strong score, I would say, anywhere 90% and above, you should be getting it. You don't have to fill up any additional application for it. The other category of scholarships that we have are, our major scholarships, which range anywhere between 5,000 going up to 35,000 Canadian dollars per year. And for these scholarships, which are extremely competitive, you need to fill up an additional application. You need to have very strong academic averages. You need to have a very strong co-curricular profile. And also, in most of the cases, you have to be nominated by your school. The important thing to note here is that every school can only nominate one student, for a particular scholarship. And the other very important thing that usually students miss out on are the deadlines. So the major scholarships at York open up in the early week of December, and they usually close by the end of January. So if you're looking at applying for these scholarships, like I said, these are extremely competitive, but then if you feel that you have that rock star profile and you can get it, we encourage you to watch the deadlines and ensure that your scholarship application has gone in at least by the mid of Jan. I wouldn't even tell you to wait till the end of Jan, which is usually the deadline. Neeru ma'am, are you there?
Probably there's some technical issues. Um well, Megha, a little bit about the fee structure, which you can just tell us how much is the fees for undergrad
Absolutely,
students?
ma'am. I'll just try to see if I can. I think I lost the connection there. So I'll try to see if I can share my screen again, if you can see it and you can just confirm it. Are you able to see my screen now?
Not yet. Okay.
Is it visible to
Yeah.
you, ma'am, now?
Yes.
Okay, all
Yes.
right.
Yes.
So, ma'am, on the screen right now is an entire breakup, of our tuition fee. So as you can see, the tuition fee would range anywhere between 32,000 to 37,000 Canadian dollars. For most of our programs, it's around 32,000 Canadian dollars per year. The reason why we provide this particular breakup is because it also gives you a very good idea about, the other estimates like the textbooks, the residence, the meal plans, and for incoming international students who are taking up the residences, usually, the meal plans are compulsory because, they are staying in the traditional style residences. So, I would say that, it would definitely be around this particular range for most of the programs. For 37,000 Canadian dollars usually is for our engineering programs. Like I said, for the rest of the programs, the estimated cost, if you include everything, should be close to about, 50,000 Canadian dollars. That's where we estimated it to be. The payment of the fee, the tuition fee, which is like if we are looking at most of the courses, which is 32,000 Canadian dollars, can be done in two installments. So the first one can be paid by the 10th of September, and the second installment can be paid by the 10th of January. There is a lot of flexibility in terms of that. At the same time, it also depends on the kind of visa route that you're taking. So if you're applying through the SDS visa route, then of course, as you know, and ma'am, you would know it better, then you have to pay the 1 year fee upfront. If you're taking the non-SDS route, then you would have to, then you have the flexibility of paying it in different, in two different installments.
Okay. Megha, we've learned a lot about York University. So, just tell us, why should students apply to York? Why should international students? What is the USP? So, they would want to know more about that.
Absolutely, ma'am. So this is actually a very interesting question. And when I joined York, I also wanted to really understand as to why York is so popular. And the best way that I found out was that I started interacting with a lot of students who are currently at York. And the main reasons that came out were definitely the major location advantage, the fact that there is such a wide availability of programs, and there's so much of flexibility. The other interesting point that was highlighted was the career connected education that we've also spoken about in terms of experiential learning opportunities that are there. One very interesting point that came up in a conversation with a student was the student community. Students feel that York has a very diverse and a vibrant student community. There's so much to do. There are so many, student clubs. You can get involved, within the activities, and it's always very lively. So that was one thing that also came up, and of course the student support services that York provides. So I would say because of all these reasons, York has extremely become extremely popular, and those are also the reasons why more and more students pick up York. These are the main USPs of York, in a way, if we can call these.
Okay, there are a lot of students who would want to go to York, but do not have mathematics, in their high school. So, can you just let them know what kind of courses they can apply to?
And with that particular question, I would really want to say that this is one query that comes in very often. And when we look at the national curriculum, sometimes when you're taking up commerce, you would take up commerce without maths. Or if you're taking up a science stream and you're going towards bio, you'll never take maths. Most of the time, I'm not saying you're never. Of course, there are a set of students who would always take bio, physics, chemistry, maths, but most predominantly you'll see students taking up biochemistry and physics. The maths is not there, and this is one challenge usually students face when they're applying to Canadian universities. Now, when it comes to York, we definitely require, mathematics for most of our programs. But of course, there are certain programs that the students can look at without maths. Like, so for example, if you're looking for a program, related to business, our BCom requires maths, our BBA requires maths, but then there is also a very interesting program that we have, which is business and society. Now that talks about the impact of business on the society, which is like the thing, right now, because this course explores the relationship between business, social structures, between the government, and everybody's been talking about corporate social responsibility. Everybody talks about green revolution. So it's a very upcoming program, doesn't have maths. So sometimes my conversations with the student is that, why don't you look at this particular course? It's very upcoming, it doesn't have maths. Also, then you can look at some other programs like psychology. So the BB also have a program in psychology which comes with the BA option. You don't require maths for that. At the same time, ma'am, there are certain bridging programs that are available at York. So specifically, this is the query that I get, like I said, from two categories. Now, if I talk about commerce without maths, students are either looking at, the BCom program or the economics program or the finance and business economics program at York. And I'll come to BBA later on, because BBA doesn't have a bridging program at all. So if you're looking for the BCom program at York or the economics program, what we have is a qualifying year program, which is like a bridging program for the first year. So for example, if you want to do BCom and you don't have maths in the first year, you can always get into the BCom qualifying year. So what would happen is that you're going to take up credits related to BCom, and you would also be required to take up some additional credits, which would be, of course, related to mathematics and microeconomics, and you need to complete minimum 24 credits. Once you do that, then you get into the second year of BCom. So in a way, there is definitely a way to get into the mainstream program without wasting any time. So it is not a bridging program that you're doing before the course. You're still studying BCom, you're still doing those credits, and then you're getting into the second year. So that's one option that students can look at. Another option that a lot of Indian students actively look at is the Ontario high taking the Ontario high school mathematics courses, virtually through the virtual high school, which is very prominent, and you can take up those mathematics courses and you can complete that. So once, till the time you have that and you have the relevant score, you can definitely send that to the university, and that maybe meets up your mathematics requirements. So that's for the business side of it. And when we talk about our BBA program, like I was saying, we don't have a bridging program for it. But then again, if you're looking at BBA, you don't have maths, then focus on the virtual, the Ontario High School maths through the virtual high school. Now, when we talk about the science students, and especially students who have bio, physics, and chemistry, and you are maybe looking at programs related to biology, biomedical, biotechnology, and you don't have maths, the Faculty of Science at York, again, you have two options. Either you can complete the Ontario High School maths courses, send them in and try to take care of your maths requirement. The other thing is that we also have a remedial mathematics program, especially by the Faculty of Science. Now, it is not that you're going to automatically get it. Of course, once you apply, it depends on the faculty. It also depends on your grades in the other programs. It's subject to the faculty's decision. But we do see students applying for the respective program that they want to get into and then requesting the faculty, can I be eligible, for the remedial maths program? So that is another option that they can look at. So at York, there are options that are there. It's just that the students also have to come up and tell us. So whenever you're applying and you have any kind of doubts, feel free to get in touch with us. York has now a person in India, which is me. So we are trying to get the university closer to the Indian region. Anytime you have any kind of queries or any doubts, more than welcome to reach out to us, and we can always answer these queries and clear these doubts that you have.
I think, maths is one issue which always affects, let's say, 30% of the student Indian community, and we have
Absolutely,
to
ma'am.
kind of take out ways. One important question is this Ontario High School exam. When
Yeah.
should the student take that exam, and when should they like submit the scores? What is the process?
Ma'am, as far as I know, that these courses can be taken at any point in time during the year.
Okay.
Usually what we prefer is that, like if you want the decision earlier, so our applications, for example, for the fall intake open up a year before. Now, it all depends on the student as to how he has or she has timed it. Like if you're applying and after that you want to take up Ontario maths, because it also depends on the fact that, you're going to be in grade 12. When would you have time to do that? So a lot of students, what they do is that they apply in September, they try to take that particular exam in December, because in case if they are not getting the required score, then they might want to do it again. Till the time you have it, like I would say, till the time the university starts rolling out offers, because it's very important for you to submit the score of that maths exam, to the university for them to make a offer. So, like I always tell students, ma'am, the sooner you apply, the sooner you have all the required documents, the better it is. So, there are no set timelines. But till the time you are doing it, maybe by Jan and Feb, it's good time, because then usually that is the time when, we see students are sending in their predicted scores and, if something needs to be done, because then even on the basis of that and your predicted scores, you can be given a conditional offer. And the offer
So
is
I
then
believe
not
the
dependent.
students should relax. If they do not have maths requirement, they have this Ontario High School grading
Absolutely, ma'am.
system. Then they have a qualifying maths system at
Yeah,
York, which they can fulfill. Wonderful.
absolutely, ma'am.
I mean, it must be a relief to a lot of our students here.
I think, and this was interesting because when we started speaking to students this year, a lot of them didn't know about the qualification year, because it was a newly launched program. And, a lot of students were like, yes, we really want to do it, because sometimes you really don't want to take up the Ontario High School maths course. Or maybe you've just passed that time wherein you feel that, oh,
Yes.
I don't have the time to prepare for it. And also for the science student, especially if you're looking for programs like biology, biotechnology, biomedical at York, do reach out to us. But of course, you'll have to file an application, and after that, you can definitely make a request. For remedial maths, and in most of the cases, we would consider it if your grades are strong. And
Wonderful.
that ways you would see that York is a very accommodating university in that regard, ma'am. So,
Yes,
like if
absolutely.
the grades are good, and we see that, yes, if this is the only reason, because we at York understand the limitation of the national curriculum, and the fact that it's not because you didn't take maths, it was just the way the streams are,
Right.
so there are options definitely available in that respect.
Okay, Megha, what is like on-campus employment or study work program? So students do have this query, and we would want to know more from you.
Absolutely, ma'am. As an international student, a lot many times we get this question, and especially when it comes to Canada, and I'm sure you would be getting this question all the time. What are the kind of part-time job opportunities that are available? We also get this another version of this question in terms of what are the part-time opportunities available on the campus. So, in order to kind of like answer that, York has this very unique study work program which is specially designed for the undergrad students, wherein York provides them with paid employment opportunities within the campus. And there are different types of opportunities that you can look into. One are general opportunities, so you're helping, you are working within your respective faculties in various areas, whether that's technical, clerical, or administrative. The other type of opportunities that are open, which I personally really like, and I encourage more and more students to kind of like take that up, is these leadership roles that they have within the faculties for students. So whether you want to become like an international student ambassador, whether you want to become like a peer mentor, you want to become like, you want to be a part of the orientation session. So that is the second set of opportunities that are available, for the students. And the third type of opportunity, which I think I kind of like very briefly mentioned earlier. So you can always assist your professors and your senior students in the research projects. Please understand that most of these projects are funded, so while you're helping them, you end up getting stipends. So so that is another opportunity that York looks out for its students. So plenty of opportunities available, and this is a very unique program, and the objective of this program is not only to help students contribute to the university, but also to develop your personal and professional skills, at the same time give you an outside classroom experience. So when students come to us and they ask us that part-time job opportunities on the campus, we very proudly talk about our study work program, which is very much prevalent, and we try to promote it more and more with every batch that's coming in.
Wonderful. I think being a research assistant and a teaching assistant looks very good on resume as well for their master's
Absolutely,
program and for work
absolutely,
employment
absolutely,
as well. And
absolutely.
I have a couple of questions. They want to ask about computer science, about artificial intelligence. What is the scope over there at York University? And one very interesting question is on film and media production at
Yeah.
York University. So,
Yeah.
so students have asked these particular questions in over
So,
here.
so I would just begin by saying that the streams that you've all asked about, whether it's computer science, whether it's film production, we have courses related to these particular streams at York for sure. And in fact, especially both these areas, our programs are really really strong. When you talk about prospects, again, very potential courses. Computer science, Canada needs more and more IT professionals. Toronto is the hub for IT. So if you're doing a computer science related program from a good university and you're doing a proper 4 year undergrad program, sky is the limit for you. Similarly, when you're looking for programs related to film production, both Vancouver and Toronto, are best places, in a way when it comes to looking out for opportunities. So both these programs are really, really strong. Both these programs are delivered at York, and I would really encourage you to kind of like go on the website, because one thing that I really like about our website is that all the information is available course wise. So the minute you go on a particular program site, not only are you reading about the particular program and the career prospects, you are also able to find out, okay, these are the requirements as per my curriculum. Okay, this is where I apply from. So these are very comprehensive program sites, and I would encourage you to go through that. Like I said, we have these programs and we are extremely strong, in both these programs. And the employment rate of our graduates, whether it comes to our business programs or our engineering and computer science program or programs related to film and design and health, they are really strong. So these are our, I would say, these are our strength areas, and I would really encourage you to learn more about these programs, through our website. And again, we're always there. If you have like a very, very specific question, we can always answer that for you. And also, if I don't know the answer for that, I can always get you the answer from the respective faculties.
Wonderful, wonderful, Megha. Now international students are applying, and but still they're very apprehensive about COVID situations, about the admissions, about visas, about their staying there, and how are the classes going to happen, about the dormitories, social distancing, vaccination. There are lots and lots of questions around
Absolutely.
COVID.
Yeah.
So, what is your take on this?
Ma'am, I completely, understand, the entire anxiety, and, and I think the students and the parents are, they are fully justified, to have that kind of a mindset. Also, the environment is so volatile. If you talk about way back in January and Feb, wherein we were just kind of like feeling a little happy that, okay, things are looking in control. And you saw most of the Canadian universities announcing plans of going back in person, or, adopting the hybrid model. And even York did that. We announced that, we are looking at going back in person, especially for some of the smaller classes, and wherever there are bigger lectures involved, we are going to go virtual. So I think most of the universities in Canada are looking at the hybrid model, but then at the same time, we're also very closely monitoring the situation. Now, nobody knew the scenario in India is going to be like this, and it's been a very sad state of affairs right now. Right now, currently, most of the countries have a travel ban in place, because everybody just wants to kind of like control the number of cases, and they are justified in their own way. My only request to the students is that nobody has the exact answers. All the questions that you're asking are questions which are like, $100 million question that, maybe me or Neeru ma'am would also know, because nobody can predict as to what's going to happen. What I would really want to appeal to the students right now is to stay calm and take it step by step. Even if you're not going to start in person, at the university of your choice, please remember that you can always start online, and there is a lot of support that's available. Now, if I talk in respect to York, there was a complete transition from offline to online, and there were a lot of support services that were offered to the student, and online has its own advantages. Number one, I feel that there's a lot of flexibility in your timetable. You can design your timetable by yourself in a way. Secondly, you save a lot in terms of your finances, because you're staying with your parents, you are safe, you're saving on to your meals, you're saving on to your accommodation. So also try to think from that particular aspect as well. The other major advantage of starting online, I feel, is that they make your foundation really strong. Now, as an international student, if I share my experience when I went abroad and I started, there were so many things to focus on. You have to take care of your accommodation, you have to take care of your meals, you have to attend your classes. Now, when you're starting online from here, you're not only safe, but you're starting in your comfort zone. You just have to focus on your program right now. So you're not delaying your academic journey, and mummy and papa are taking care of the meals, they are taking care of the laundry, they are taking care of everything for you. So like, you just have to change your mindset a little bit, because that's what students eventually started doing even last year. Starting a program online is a great option. Of course, there is no denying that in person definitely has its own advantages, but looking at the current scenario, that's one approach that I would encourage students to have. When it comes to York, like I was talking about, our transition from offline to online was very smooth. There were a lot of support services that were provided. We, in fact, were one of the very first universities whose COVID readiness plan was approved by the government. We are also supporting students with their quarantine plan. So we're going to be taking care of the expenses that are involved into that. Very recently, Neeru ma'am, we waived off the conditions of the offer letters. So if you
Oh,
know
yes.
that with the
Yes.
recent IRCC announcement, there was again a lot of chaos. And IRCC said that we need unconditional offers. So we were one of those very few universities that took the step, and we said that, okay, we are waiving off the conditions from your offers. So that again gave a bit of respite to the students and parents. Please try and understand that we at every university across the globe understand the plight of the student and the parent. We are all going to do whatever is in the interest of the students and the parents. So at this particular point in time, when everything is going in a different direction, I would just request all the students to maintain their calm and take each day as it comes, because that's what we are doing. Nobody knows as to how things are going to look maybe tomorrow. So it is very difficult for your counselors or Neeru ma'am or for me or for any other university rep to tell you that how it's going to look in fall. Just be patient, and let's hope for the very best. That's would be my message, ma'am, to
Absolutely.
the students and to the parents. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, once the student reaches there, Megha, what are the student support
Yeah.
system which York can give to them?
Ma'am, so what we are trying to do is, of course, you need to have a quarantine plan in place. So, and that would cost somewhere close to about 2,000 to 3,000 Canadian dollars, according to the current restrictions, because you need to have a place of stay and you need to have meals. So that is something that we are taking care of our students. Of course, that depends on whether the travel plan, ban goes off, and, monitoring the situation. But that's one support which is in place. Secondly, what we've also done is that we have this York University Start program. So all the students who have accepted the offer at York, this is basically a preparatory program, because I know that there is so much going on right now. But I think what we keep telling students is focus on what lies ahead, and there are certain academic modules that they can take up. So if you're a student who's already applied at York, for you there are not going to be any charges, so you can start taking up some modules in advance and start strengthening and start witnessing as to how university experience would look like. And while you're there, ma'am, also kind of like getting the residences in place. Like, earlier, the traditional style of residences had like single and both, single and double sharing room. Now I think with the current scenario we are looking at having only single sharing rooms, so a lot of work is going in the background to support the students. Like I said, that every university is working day and night to ensure that there is adequate support to the international students. At the same time, for us, the major thing is the safety of the student. If it involves any bit of risk in terms of taking a flight and coming all the way, even if the ban gets lifted, my conversation with the parent is, do you really want to take that risk, or do you want to wait for some more time till the time the situation gets okay? But if they
Absolutely.
arrive there, there is definitely a lot of support that's there. We are always there to support them. But at the same time, you also have to think about the safety of your child, because taking a flight, uh, there are at a major risk in terms of getting the infection. So that's again a question that
Absolutely.
parents need to think about.
Absolutely, absolutely. I totally agree. And we had a wonderful session, Megha. Thank you so much. It has been insightful. We've learned a lot about so many factors and so many things about the campuses and the programs. I'm looking forward to have another session sometime later in August or September. And I'm sure our young students would have learned a lot from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, again for this opportunity. Of course, there were definitely questions that I didn't have answers to, but then I can assure you I can get you answers for that. But also for giving us this opportunity today to come and interact, with the students. And kudos to your team for handling the session so well. So a big thanks to you, ma'am, for taking up
Thank
this
you.
initiative and making York a part of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.